good, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE Nintendo Switch news video that I have for you ninjas. Today we've got a lot of great information to go over, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So my good friends over there at Game Explain and Andre Seegers has actually uploaded a screenshot directly from his Nintendo Switch that shows off that the Nintendo Switch does have an activity log that is accessible built into the console and not through the actual parental controls app. Now, the parental controls app, if you have that, any type of smartphone, tablet, all of that, you can access that and you can see exactly how much time you put into titles. Some people were saying, man, I really wish there was an activity log like the Wii U had. And while this one isn't quite as in-depth as the Wii U's activity log, there still is a built-in activity log that unlocks after 1 week. And as you can see here with this screenshot from Andre, he has been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for over 100 hours. And there is some information saying that if you do like 110 or 120, it will log that. It doesn't just say like 100 hours and then that's it, or 100 plus hours. So it will actually go up and not just be logged at 100 or more hours. So I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, it's one of those kind of throwaway features to me. I wasn't really big on activity logs or anything like that. It's always nice to have. Extra stuff is extra stuff. But at the same time, it's just a nice little touch. And hopefully Nintendo expands upon it even more. Maybe incorporates My Nintendo Rewards. There's a lot of different stuff that they can do. And there's a lot of things that they will do with the OS of the system, the user interface. This is definitely not going to be the final build when it's all said and done. I think they're going to continue evolving it because remember, this is a complete reboot for Nintendo with a custom OS that they built just for this system. I feel that it will get better as time goes on. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. So the Nintendo Switch is Spain's best console launch in the history of the country, apparently. So according to a new report on Vandal, the Nintendo Switch is now Spain's best console launch ever. The PlayStation 4 was the previous record holder, but the torch has been passed to the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch, having sold 45,000 units in its first 3 days on the market. The Nintendo Switch seems to have sold through most of its entire batch of stock in Spain. Roughly 50,000 units were shipped to the country, resulting in a very high sell-through rate. More units should be making their way out to Spain in the weeks ahead. So definitely good news and stuff that we did not hear about the Wii U. And the fact that it actually beat PlayStation 4 somewhere is interesting. I didn't know how big of a market Spain has. 50 to 60,000 units, that's what it seems like it's going to be selling within the first actual week on sale, is not bad. Considering that the UK sold 80,000, France sold 105,000, so it's looking like the Nintendo Switch actually shaped up quite well in parts of Europe, and we just have to wait and see the full scope of things. But we do have a little bit more information on that because the Nintendo Switch is also the best-selling launch for Nintendo hardware in Australia and New Zealand. So the Nintendo Switch launch seems to be setting records left and right for Nintendo across various different regions. And at this point, it's the best launch of any Nintendo hardware in Australia/New Zealand region. Not only that, but the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild managed to sell more copies at launch than Wii Sports, which was a bundle with the Wii. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild also sold more at launch than any previous Zelda game for that region. So this is definitely good news for Nintendo, and I want to talk about this just a bit, not necessarily just the sales numbers, but I do think that how it's important as far as Nintendo's strategy and this hybrid device. We talked about how Nintendo has had a long history of basically having a split fan base. You have the portable side over here that wants to just get portable games and says, man, I want all the stuff to be on portable. And then you have the home console side that says, I really want to get all the stuff that has portable. And you've always had that disconnect. Nintendo has tried to bridge the gap by doing stuff like the GBA player, Super Game Boy, stuff like that, but they've never quite nailed it 100%. And this system is an interesting proposition to many Nintendo fans, and this is why I think you're seeing some of these record sales and all that. I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but the reason why is because now you essentially have one device that is seemingly going to get almost all of Nintendo's support at this point. There are a few games coming to Nintendo 3DS, but after 2017, 2018-ish, what's going to come? We all know that Nintendo Switch is going to be Nintendo's main platform going forward. They're putting a lot of resources on there. We're seeing a lot of the Nintendo 3DS developers, like Intelligent Systems, who didn't really develop any of their mainline games on the Wii U. We're seeing them go over to Nintendo Switch very early in the process with a brand new Fire Emblem game coming to the Nintendo Switch. That's going to be pretty freaking sweet and epic. We also see stuff like Silicon Studio, who only developed on the Nintendo 3DS as well, now making Project Octopath Traveler on the Nintendo Switch. So it's a very interesting proposition for consumers out there, and I think that's the reason why you're seeing these record-breaking sales, or you're seeing these heightened sales, because essentially people are saying, all right, I'll bite the bullet and buy this $299 device, or however much it is in your region, because I essentially get a 3DS and a Wii U combined. I get both of Nintendo's consoles, or I get a Super Nintendo and Game Boy, or I get a GameCube and a GBA. I get both of those in one. I can play it at home. I can take that same game on the go. I don't have to do any type of stupid save transferring or anything like that, any type of weird hookups or two separate devices. It's essentially what a lot of people have been asking for quite some time. One device gets all of Nintendo's content and a variety of ways to play, whether you're playing in tabletop mode, handheld mode, or on the console in TV mode. There's all sorts of different ways that you can play. Not only that, but it actually comes with two controllers, so if you have family and friends, I think that's the biggest thing. Kids probably would be my biggest bet with that, because you can just slide off the Joy-Con and hand one over to a smaller child. I know me and my daughter, I've said this before, we play Fast RMX, and it actually almost brought a tear to my eye, because she's like, Dad, I really love playing this game with you, this race car game with you. This is so fun. I love this controller. So that was something to me that was really special, and I'm always going to recommend, if you do have kids, definitely check out this system. I think they're going to be very happy with it as far as what you can do and how you can play, take it around wherever you want. And I think that's really going to transfer over and carry some weight when it comes to long-term prospects. But we cannot avoid what launching with a game like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is. The review scores, the way that the game plays, the open world nature. I talked about this on Wii U, how Nintendo did not launch with enough games that sees like a vision, like a grand scope when it comes to what they want to do with their first party content. Nintendo Land is great, but that is not the type of game. And New Super Mario Bros., once again, that is good, but it's not the type of game that really shows the vision for what you're trying to do. I truly feel that with the Nintendo Switch, you have this device that you can take anywhere and explore the world, right? You can take it anywhere you want. Same thing with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can go anywhere you want. You can play it anywhere you want. And I think that theme, I know maybe it's not 100% direct or anything. Nintendo has made marketing in that aspect as far as what you can do with it, but I really do feel that that really is like one-and-one with the Nintendo Switch. You can have this wide open world that you can play anytime you want, because you're going to spend so much time in it. You're going to need to make extra time, whether it's at lunch breaks at work or when you're going somewhere else, waiting in the doctor's office, whatever the case is. So I think that's the type of software that really pushes your hardware and says, hey, look, I can look past a few things here and there, just as long as you have amazing content, amazing first-party games. And The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, in addition to like Fast RMX, Super Bomberman, and other games, really helped bring that vision as far as what Nintendo was trying to do to life in order to sell more. So I just personally feel that this definitely is going to continue. We have next month Mario Kart 8, which is the Wii U's best-selling game, which is going to be retouched up, 1080p, 60 frames per second, better online multiplayer, all new battle mode, new characters, and new gameplay mechanics with actually having 2 items. That is a big deal for me. Like, that is something that I actually really wanted quite a while ago. So the fact that they're adding that in, and 1080p, 60 frames per second, and the online, I'm back with Mario Kart, baby. I am back with it, and I think this is going to be a very good launch for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of people were trying to discredit as far as Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, saying, oh, well, it's available on the Wii U, so that's going to steal some of the Nintendo Switch's thunder. It's not even close to being true. The people who said that have just basically just kind of faded back into the shadows. I'm not sure if there's going to be the same type of effect, because it was a dual launch and Mario Kart already came out, but we are going to see a lot of people jump over and make that switch from Mario Kart on the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, just because of how quality that game is and the online play and the new features / content added in. And I also feel like with what Nintendo's been doing with the indie developers and all that, I think that's also helped as far as push the system a little bit more. Definitely not the main thing people are looking at. Some people do buy systems, they might, for an indie game, but for the most part, it's really good fillers in between. For example, we get Blaster Master Zero today, so this is the type of content that you definitely need to make sure that you're bringing out quality content that's going to keep people interested and engaged in your console, even if it's not the biggest thing out there, in between the bigger blockbuster games every month and a half or so. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you ninjas for the next video. Peace.